You're listening to a production of SportsLink Digital Radio.
Today, Briner Sports Complex plays host to a very important Mid-American Conference matchup. The Ball State Cardinals host the Ohio Bobcats, and potentially a spot in the MAC tournament on the line. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Daniel Sullivan. Daniel, so many implications with tonight's matchup. 6 teams get into the MAC tournament this year. They expanded it from last year. It was 4 last year. Currently, Ball State sits at 5th in the MAC. Right behind them is Longwood, a half game back. Then Ohio at 7th. But a win today can move Ohio into the MAC tournament and Ball State out. Daniel, what do you think the mindset is for both teams knowing how important today is?
Right, absolutely. First of all, great to be by you here at Briner Sports Complex.
Totally.
Very excited for today's matchup. I have to say, Ball State comes into today at 3-11, Ohio at 5-9. When you have those records late in the season, it's not often that you have things still to play for. But like you mentioned, there's 9 teams in the MAC when it comes to field hockey. 6 of them get into the tournament. Both of these teams are on the bubble. This is a golden opportunity for both sides, looking to salvage a season that might not have gone the way they wanted.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And you mentioned 9 teams. They add JMU. That's who Ball State has next on Sunday. JMU first in the MAC. They've already punched their ticket to the conference tournament. Well, let's shift gears towards Ball State and their fourth quarter struggles. Ball State on a 4-game losing streak. And so far on the season, they're being outscored in the fourth quarter 16-4. How can the Cardinals finish better?
No question. It's got to be on their minds on Tuesday, up 1-0 against UC Davis, playing a great defensive game. Then you go into the fourth quarter and you give up 3 goals. UC Davis walks out of here with a big win, and like you said, extends this losing streak to 4. Ball State has to be focused on that fourth quarter, holding their nerve. The field opens up. We know that. Legs get tired, but it's about holding your composure in those late stages.
And one performance I do want to touch on from that UC Davis game, Michaela Granny, 3 shots on goal, her first goal of the season. She's only played 7 games due to an injury. It's very important to have the graduate student back. She made her return against Longwood a couple of weeks ago. What do you expect out of her today, Daniel?
I mean, she was fantastic on Tuesday. 3 shots, all of them on goal, scored the lone goal for the Cardinals, all of that coming from a defensive position. But it's no surprise. Cardinal fans are used to that. Last year, the MAC Defensive Player of the Year. Coming back after injury should give this team a shot in the arm. They'll really look to rally around her today on both sides of the ball.
And Daniel, I don't want to kind of overestimate myself, but this game feels like it's do or die.
Absolutely. I don't think you can rely on coming up with a win against James Madison. They're sitting undefeated in the MAC, 10-4 overall. The last game of the season against Bellarmine, and that's a game that you could possibly win, but they're not looking anywhere past Ohio today. This is a golden opportunity. You don't want to be playing catch-up. You want to give yourself a game and a half distance against a very tough Bobcat squad. Figure out Longwood later, but today absolutely must win.
But with that in mind, what is one key to the game for both teams?
Well, I think for the Bobcats, it's getting Sasha DeKatla involved in their offense immediately. She has 13 shots on the season, 10 of them on goal, and 4 of them going into the back of the net. I think she's going to be trouble for this Ball State defense. She plays a lot of minutes, and she's going to be very active. Now, for the Cardinals, I'm looking at Michaela Graney, but I'm looking at Emma Van Hall for the Cardinals. We spotlighted her on Tuesday's ESPN Plus broadcast as a player to watch. She was pretty quiet, struggled to get it going. They had a good game plan for her. They're not going to turn away from her today. They're going to play to their strengths, and I think Emma Van Hall will be in the action early and often.
Absolutely, and I can kind of feel it. Maybe there's definitely a sense of urgency with both of these teams, considering how important today's game is. You got to have that for sure, but how do you not let that overcome you?
I mean, this is what you play for, right? You play all season, and then you want to be able to put yourself in a position where you can play in the postseason. Both teams understand that. Both teams have experienced coaches. Last year for Ohio, head coach Allie Johnstone, who's now in her 7th season, was named co-MAC Coach of the Year. They understand the pressure. It's going to be about who responds best. And I think we should look for, in the first 10 minutes of this game, we'll get a sense of who's adjusted to the pressure of today's contest. Look at the possession, look at who's getting the ball into the other team's attacking zone, and should sort itself out.
Yeah, I do want to wrap this up by talking about both goalkeepers. It'll be for Ohio, Macy Lotz, and for Ball State, Hannah Johnston. Johnston, a 77% save percentage, and for Ohio's Macy Lotz, 71%. The interesting thing about Lotz, back-to-back years, for the week of October 25th in 2022 and 2023, she was MAC Defensive Player of the Year. Guess what week I should say. Guess what week it is, Daniel?
It's that time of year.
Yep, October 25th. So you know that around this time of year, when the postseason is in question in Ohio, they were fourth. They just barely made it in last year. That's when she gets hot. What do you expect from the matchup of both goalkeepers?
Well, they're going to lean on her like they have all season. She's given up 37 goals, but like you said, don't let that distract you from the fact that she is saving 77% of shots that come her way. That's a career high for her. She is absolutely fantastic in net. Again, another veteran that they're going to need to lean on. And for Ohio, they give Macy Lotz all she can handle as well. She has to deal with just about 18 shots a game. Whichever goalkeeper brings their best today is going to give their team a huge advantage.
And that'll do it for this pregame show. We'll be right back for opening matchup. You are listening to Ball State Field Hockey on SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Ranked number 2 in the nation for sports media by the Broadcast Education Association.
This is Ball State Sports Link.
Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership, and here's why. We stand behind every car we sell and are dedicated to helping our customers save time and money. All our pre-owned cars undergo a rigorous 182-point inspection and come with a 90-day warranty to ensure that you're getting a Victory quality vehicle. Plus, you'll get 2 years of complimentary oil changes and tire rotations. We're part of a top 15 dealership group and have an enormous selection of vehicles with access to inventory at over 45 locations. You always get more for your trade and the best possible rates with us. We have an excellent relationship with hundreds of lenders. Our exclusive car dock maintenance and membership program will help you save hundreds of dollars in the process of maintaining your vehicle. Lastly, our state-of-the-art body shop and certified technicians perform high-quality repairs and paint work on most vehicle makes and models. Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU Sports Link.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesuites.hamptoninn.com. At munciesuites.hamptoninn.com.
From the bell tower to your smartphone, anywhere in the world.
Never miss Ball State sports with SportsLink Digital.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
From Trivia Night at Brothers and Tater Tots at Roots.
Never miss a Ball State game with SportsLink Digital.
Welcome back, folks, on SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Daniel Sullivan. We are about to get started. Ball State Field Hockey playing host to the Ohio Bobcats, live here at Briner Sports Complex. And let's just go over the starting lineups for both teams very quickly. For the Cardinals, Jenna Wyckoff out there with Emma Hilton. Emma Van Hall, who we touched on in the pregame, is out there with Grace Clokey, Julia Verratti, and Lauren Lewis now. Lauren Lewis, interesting enough, making her first start for the Cardinals since Longwood, a freshman out of England. Michaela Graney back out there, who had an impressive game against UC Davis, had 3 shots on goal and her first goal of the season. Jessica Rochat, Rachel Bond, Maya Gwynn, and the goalkeeper for the Cardinals, Hannah Johnston. And quickly here for the Bobcats, the goalkeeper and Macy Lotz is out there with Natalie LaFleur, Noah Demera, and Bodie Littlefield. Merle Cal is out there with Annie Ryan and Sasha DeKotla. Emily Risser and Anouk Plan out there. Anouk Plan, second team All-MAC last season, and she is having yet another incredible season. She will definitely be in the running for All-MAC next season as well. Mila Kopp, the graduate student from Louisville, Kentucky, is out there with the sophomore, and Emily Beitzel. And that is your starting lineup for both teams.
Have to say, really excited to see the freshman, Lauren Lewis, get that start. She's been kind of a minutes eater. She's been a big contributor on defense for this Cardinals team. But like you said, hasn't been finding that starting role often this season. Now out there in the biggest game of the season to date. Very exciting.
And we are underway here. The Cardinals have it from their own 25. And speaking of, Lauren Lewis has it as Michaela Granny from inside her own D, guarded by DeMera. Now the double team brought on LaFleur. Going back up, steamrolls it over to Wyckoff at midfield. And a stoppage in play will be a free hit for Ohio. Emily Risser takes over at midfield on the near side.
Yeah, and that's kind of a rare one to see going on offense there with a lot of momentum. Jenna Wyckoff is whistled for a foul. She had a word with the official, but Ohio takes possession, now brings it up the right sideline.
And Maya Gwynn has a hold of it, and then another stoppage in play. Sasha DeKotla got a stick to it. Now on the far side, Jessica Rochette out of South Africa. Ball State with two players from South Africa as the ball trickles on the far side. Taken away, and another stoppage in play, and another free hit for the Cardinals. If not, it would have been easy pickings for Anouk Plan.
Yeah, you mentioned South Africa. Have to add Sasha DeKotla for the Bobcats, also from South Africa. She's from Johannesburg. It is amazing the amount of international representation in field hockey. Just unbelievable. We'll bring it up more today, but you are seeing players out there on the field from all over the world. Really incredible.
I think that's the beautiful part about it for sure. As now Ohio has possession. Ball State takes it back though. Maya Gwynn forces the turnover as they approach their own 25 attacking. Rachel Bond has it at midfield. The graduate student gives it over to another graduate student in Michaela Granny, who smacks it towards the top of the D to Verratti, who loses control. Ball State awarded with a free hit just outside of the D. Emma Van Hall has it.
Yeah, first opportunity here for the Cardinals. And like I mentioned in the pregame show, whoever controls possession in the first 10 minutes is going to have a fantastic opportunity to come out on top. Really need to set the tone, come out strong here for both sides.
Ohio has it after the dangerous play, went above the knee of Noah DeMera. Natalie LaFleur on the near side has it. Michaela Granny gets a stick to it. Cardinals get it right back. Emma Hilton with a stoppage in play. Ohio gets the ball back on the near side, just outside of the D, about 3 minutes gone. We are tied at 0 in the first quarter. Emily Beitzel tries to back down Hilton on the baseline. Johnston pokes it away.
Yeah, it gives the Cardinals a scare there, just working on the left side, worked her way past two white jerseys, but cleaned up in goal, and that's a big stop for the Cardinals.
If the Ball State Cardinals wearing the white jerseys and the white shorts, Ohio, on the other hand, black jerseys, green shorts, and a flick pass from Lauren Lewis goes out of play on the near side. Ohio will reset with 12:15 left in the first period. Still no score.
And got to give credit there on that last play to Hannah Johnston, who it's an easy play. She just comes over, uses her feet, gets it out of harm's way, but you got to make the easy ones just as much as you've got to make the hard ones. Veteran move there to keep us scoreless.
Goes out of play. A little bit too much mustard on that pass from Plan intended for Kopp on the far side. And Hannah Johnston, she does make it look so easy, doesn't she?
I mean, she's absolutely incredible. Like we mentioned in the pregame show, she's got a heavy, heavy workload most games. Ball State gives up a lot of shots. On total, she's had to deal with 168 shots on her net. And like we said, she's taken care of 77% of them. This team leans on her heavily, and normally she's up for the challenge.
Indeed, the pass goes out of play on the far side, intended for Jenna Wyckoff of the Cardinals. Couldn't quite get a hold of it. Now Ohio has it from their own 25. Mila Kopp on the far side, guarded by Clokey.
And now, as we have played about 5 minutes here at Briner Sports Complex, 4 minutes, excuse me, you're going to start to see sort of a chess match. Both coaches trying to figure out what the other one is going to bring to the table. These two teams, historically, Ohio with a 25-8 advantage in the all-time series. But last year, Ball State pulled out an overtime victory. They know each other well, and they know it's going to be a dogfight.
If the last two matchups have been 2-1 in score, so if we get to that point, there might be a little deja vu, but we'll have to wait and see. We're still very early into this. Granny who has it on the free hit, flicks it up for Wyckoff on the near side. She's outside the D. Pass intended for Bond, trickles out of bounds on the end line, intended for Bond. Ohio ball.
Yeah, it looks like Ball State is going to be playing on the right side today. Rachel Bond, who's played in all 14 games, doesn't have a goal to her name yet on the season, but she's been a contributor on the offensive side of things. She has 1 assist. They're looking at her today so far.
Yeah, Rachel Bond, who she has been a goal scorer in the past. She has had game-winning goals against Longwood, IU. Near side, Beitzel has it. Bond with the takeaway. Speaking of, and contact made. Emily Beitzel and Rachel Bond on the near side colliding. A free hit for the Cardinals. Emma Van Hall has it. Now Emma Hilton wearing a different number today, usually number 4, wearing number 1. It's actually back-to-back games. We've seen that.
Yeah, that's what happens when this team wears the white jerseys. They're a giveaway, but you love the effort from Rachel Bond getting the ball back there in midfield and then drawing a foul. Great effort from the Cardinals.
Now Ohio with it, Anouk Plan, former All-MAC second team, and she's really just a workhorse. She's only missed 1 game, and that goes all the way back to freshman year. That was back in freshman year. She's a junior this year, and the fact that Ohio gets another year of her next year is huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, she is a workhorse, and Ball State is going to be seeing a lot of her today. The back line is aware of it, but they know it's going to be a problem, especially as the game goes on.
Deborah James flicks it up for Sophie Vanderwall, who's back in. Poked out of bounds by Rochat, but Ohio was able to get the last laugh. They have it just outside of the D on that far side. Vanderwall approaching. She is inside, gets past Lewis. The pass off taken away by Rachel Bond. Big defensive stand for Ball State, and she takes it the other way.
Well, how about that? Tracking back all the way from your position to right in front of the goal and making the play. That is veteran leadership from the senior. Rachel Bond takes care of a problem early.
Deborah James has it. Deborah James, her mother Olive, played and captained the Ugandan national team in field hockey. So she has it in her veins. She's played all 15 games now, yet to start a game for Ohio, but as a freshman from England, it's impressive what she's been able to do so far as an early contributor. Granny in her own corner flicks it up, and a free hit for Ohio. Looks like the pass was too dangerous. Sasha Tikatla has it for Ohio now within striking distance of the D. Again, 8 minutes left in the first quarter. We are still tied at 0 in a very important MAC game between the Ball State Cardinals and the Ohio Bobcats. Ohio had an opportunity. Zoe Collins, a foul called. Ball State gets it back.
Yeah, and that was Maya Gwynn, again, tracking back to make a big play. Everybody helping out on the defensive side of things right now. That's got to be a good sign for head coach Caitlin Walsh to see.
Goes out of bounds on the far side. Ohio now has another opportunity. Deborah James inbounds it at around the 50. They go back to a Nuke Plan. Plan from Germany. That goes back to what we were talking about earlier with the international talent on both teams.
Yeah, Ohio particularly bringing in 8 international players. Like you said, we'll be talking about it all day because it's a huge theme of field hockey here. A really nice touch. Briner Sports Complex has hung up some of the flags of our international players on the left side end zone. Very, very cool.
Yeah, speaking of, from Spain, Paloma Gomez Renjifo checks back in. Ball goes out of bounds on the end line, and Ohio gets it right back. Sophie Vanderwall tries to back down. Rochat gets into the D. Emma Hilton pokes it out, picks her pocket, but Mila Kopp, the graduate student for the Bobcats, gets it right back. Pass along the far side, able to connect, but then Vanderwall's attempt to get it inside the D just outside goes out of bounds on the back line. Now Bodie Littlefield has possession of the ball for Ohio at the 25 on their attacking side. 6:20 left in the first quarter. 0-0 ball game. Dangerous play. The question is, will it stay with Ohio? Will it go to the Cardinals? It will stay with the Bobcats.
Yeah, and this is not a pattern that Ball State wants to get into. The ball on their half of the field almost constantly. Play made there to clean things up, but they need to do a better job of controlling possession.
Paloma Gomez Renjifo, coast to coast after the turnover from Nadine Loops. And she's able to force the free hit. Too much contact made by Zoe Collins. Christine DeTizio now has it for Ball State.
Yeah, and Rengifo leads this team in shots. She's put 21 shots up this season. Big contributor.
It leads the team in assists as well with 5. So you know how she can set up her teammates as well. Whistle blown on that end line, though. Nadine Lopes has it on the attacking 25 for the Cardinals. They go inside the D. Ball bounces. A steamroller back out of bounds on the end line. Ohio takes advantage and gets possession. About 5 minutes left in the first quarter. Still knotted up at 0.
And that was interesting. Nadine Loop shot from way too far outside the D, so it couldn't have counted as a goal. I think she was hoping for a teammate to find a stick inside the D and then turn and fire, but it just rolled out of play. Don't hate the effort, though.
Yeah, I think she was just hoping, hey, maybe someone's down there. Who knows? Vanderwall able to stick it cleanly at the 25 on the flick pass. Now she's outside of the shooting circle with 2 Cardinals on her. Tries to back her down, tries to back down a sea of white, but she passes it back out to a Nuke Plan. Granny pokes it away, but Plan gets it right back and gets it off to Littlefield, who's guarded by Loops. Littlefield tries to spin her way out of trouble. Pass intended for Collins, and Jessica Rochat able to field it cleanly and get the ball back for Ball State. Free hit awarded to them.
Yeah, and Ohio's going to want that one back. They did not get all of the contact that they wanted inside the D. That shot, kind of a weak little dribbler that Hannah Johnston didn't even need to come deal with. Her defense cleaned it up for her. Missed opportunity there.
Now Lauren Lewis gets it on the free hit for the near side on Ball State. Michaela Granny now with it. About 2 Bobcats on it. Ohio kind of playing a press right now. You'll definitely see that in the final 5 minutes. Natalie LaFleur getting a little too handsy on Lewis. The bouncing ball on the near side will lead to a free hit again for the Bobcats. Ohio taking advantage. Deborah James has it now. Sasha DiCatla for Ohio. She'll take it out on the near side as we approach the 3:30 mark in the first quarter. Still no score. Vanderwall pass inside the shooting circle. Nobody home. Rachel Bond the takeaway, but DiCatla takes it right back for the Bobcats. But Rengifo picks her pocket. She goes coast to coast, trying to go end to end, goes on the near side. That's Reagan Kunkel with it. And the Nuke Plan intercepts her pass, and she crosses the timeline across the 50. Emma Hilton guarding her closely on the near side. Now they go back across to Deborah James.
Yeah, and I want to go back to what you talked about with the Bobcats press, because it's particularly when Lauren Lewis is dealing with the ball in the back right corner. They've really gone after her. It's clear they identified, she's a freshman. She hasn't started a lot of games this season. We want to test her. She's going to have to prove to them that she's not a weak link and that she can handle the pressure before they back off.
Indeed, and Lauren Lewis, the future is bright for Ball State field hockey, considering she's only a freshman and she's already making big contributions to this team. Now a Nuke Plan has it for the Bobcats. Pass intended for DiCatla gets poked away by Bond, but Deborah James recovers on the near side. Now Plan smacks it over to Noah DeMera. DeMera in trouble. DeTizio tries to poke it out, unable to do so. DeMera takes it on the far side, trickles out on the end line. Question is, who will possession go to? It looks like it will stay here with Ohio. Sasha DiCatla takes it. Just outside the shooting circle on the far side. Under 2 minutes to play. Still no score in the first quarter. Christine DeTizio takes it right from her. DiCatla tried to spin in, but Merle Cowell, the senior, takes it right back and draws a foul.
Yeah, and we talked about how crucial these first 10 minutes would be. I think Ohio's been the better team. They have held possession. They've been much more dangerous. Ball State hasn't really threatened.
DeMera tomahawk shot goes wide left. That's the first shot attempt we've seen all day, really. And Hannah Johnson didn't have to do much. Goes way offline on the left side.
Yeah, that's a bold shot attempt from DeMera, but you have to give Ohio credit for getting forward and just threatening in this first quarter. Ball State's defense is playing very well. They haven't really been tested, but they don't want this momentum to build for the Bobcats.
And something that's interesting, both teams, no penalty corners in the first quarter so far. We'll see if that holds up. And a foul called on Bodie Littlefield of Ohio. Ball State takes it at the 50 on the far side. a sea of black and white fighting for that ball. Ohio comes up with it. Bodie Littlefield loses track of it, and Emma Hilton gets it on a free hit for the Cardinals between the 25 and the 50 of the left side of the field. Under 1 minute to play, pass just offline, intended for Rachel Bond on that near side.
Yeah, and you might be seeing the nerves there a little bit from Lauren Lewis. That wasn't a contested pass, just a giveaway. They'll get it right back, though.
They get right back. The flick pass from Merla Kopp just goes well offline to the left. Now Lauren Lewis has it. Lewis, who has started in now 8 games. Her last start, you have to go all the way back to Longwood. Looks for Emily Beitzel as she pokes it out. Ball State takes it at their attacking 25 on the near side. Rachel Bond slaps it through, and another stoppage in play. That will be the end of the first quarter. And Daniel, with no score in the first quarter, I want to point this out. Both teams have struggled all year with penalty corners. For Ohio, their opponents have 92 penalty corners on the year compared to their 54. And for Ball State, it's a very similar story. 60 penalty corners for them, but they've allowed 124. But in this first quarter, no penalty corners for either team.
Yeah, that's a big victory for both coaches.
And that'll take us to commercial break. The Ball State Cardinals and the Ohio Bobcats tied at 0. You are listening to Ball State Field Hockey on SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
For the best stories, access, and coverage of Ball State sports, follow SportsLink on social media platforms Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Search @BSU SportsLink.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Your home for live Ball State sports, streaming right in your timeline.
This is Sports Link Digital.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, pay-per-go toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
From trivia night at Brothers and tater tots at Roots.
Never miss a Ball State game with Sports Link Digital.
Ball State Field Hockey live from Briner Sports Complex here on SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie. Currently a 0-0 ball game on a partly cloudy day here in Muncie, Indiana. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Daniel Sullivan. And not a lot of shot attempts for either team. So, Daniel, what's the takeaway, and how can both of these teams get more aggressive?
Well, like I said before the break, and all things considered, I think both coaches have to be pretty happy with how their teams have come out. No real mistakes. Both sides playing very composed. But like you said, something's got to give. We won't stay 0-0 forever, and I suspect we won't stay 0-0 for very long.
Marie DeGrand, who checks in for the first time. Her tomahawk shot, did it get through? It sure did! Just on top of the shooting circle. Ohio breaks the tie just like that. 30 seconds into the first period. Marie DeGrand, her second goal of the season.
And that's an incredible shot from just inside the shooting circle. Really, nothing fancy about it. Walked right up, shot it. It deflected off of Johnston's leg, and it barely hit the post, and then it bounced out. But there's a referee right there. He says it went across the line to break, and it's 1-0 to Ohio.
If the freshman from Belgium, yet to start on the year, but gets one of the biggest goals of the season, Jenna Wyckofer, the Cardinals, turns it over. And just as you said that this game was not going to be 0-0 for very long, that statement, very true. As a matter of fact, it proved to be fugacious, only lasting a short amount of time. Emma Hilton now has it for Ball State. Guarded by Bodie Littlefield, and a free hit drawn for the Cardinals. And if you're Ball State, that's just a heartbreaking way to open the second quarter. How do you bounce back just mentally?
Well, you got to forget about it, right? It's in the past, and it's not coming off the scoreboard. All that matters is how you respond, but for sure, very frustrating to come out of the quarter break. You're feeling good about yourself. You maybe make some adjustments, and now it's a whole new ball game playing from behind.
Maya Gwynn loses track of that ball for Ball State. But is she able to draw a free hit? It looks like she will. The Cardinals in business outside of the shooting circle. Still yet to attempt a shot on the day. They're on the right side of the field. Shot attempt from Wyckoff, or I should say pass attempt from Clokey. It's a little too high, but Ball State takes it right back. Sweeping pass goes across the pitch, out of bounds on the near side. Wyckoff was right there, just couldn't get to it. Ohio takes possession now all the way on the right side of the field on the bottom right corner. Rachel Bond now with it, dribbles from left to right on the end line. Tries to get through a defender, but Emily Risser fouls. Bond now has it, gets tripped up. She's inside the shooting circle, but Ohio gets possession.
Yeah, and it's interesting for the Cardinals so far on offense. You're seeing a lot of long passes or individual dribbling efforts, but not a lot of cohesion on the attacking side. I think the biggest thing for Caitlin Walsh on offense would be starting to see some buildup, connecting some passes, rather than kind of these long shots.
Cardinals get it back, though, on the far side. It's Maya Gwynn, guarded by Cal, the senior for Ohio. Gwynn gets it right back after she's tripped up. Sasha DeKotla right behind her trying to pick her pocket. Now she's in a sea of black, tries to get around it, and it looks like she's able to draw a penalty corner, the first of the day for either team, and Ball State strikes first with it.
Yeah, that's big time, and it looked like a double team, if not a triple team, in that far right corner. Now on this penalty corner, look at Emma Van Hall.
Indeed, as right now, with 12 minutes left in the first half, Ohio leads 1-0 over the Ball State Cardinals. Emma Hilton will inbound. We saw her doing the majority of the inbounding against UC Davis. That was a point of emphasis across the entire week, for that matter, of who would be doing the inbounding for these penalty corners. 5 in the cage for the Bobcats. The masks come on for Ohio. Hilton on the right side of the cage looks to inbound. Passes it in. Heaves up for Granny. Her shot a little too high. Goes wide left. Macy Lotz with the rejection.
That's an incredible save. Putting her body on the line and actually getting off the ground into the air to make the save. Keeping the shutout for her side. What a clutch save from the graduate student.
Yeah, 2 graduate student goalkeepers today, and both of them making good plays. Rachel Bond gets it right back for Ball State, dribbles from right to left. Now Lewis outside of the D, passes it inside. Clokey chasing after it towards the end line. It's outside of the D now on the far side. Looks like she's double teamed, gets past it, goes out of bounds on that back line. It'll stay in possession of the Cardinals.
Well, and you asked, how do they respond? Like this, holding possession in a dangerous area. This is a great response so far from the Cardinals.
Now Wyckoff, the pass intended for her, but a nuke plan with the takeaway. But Emma Hilton picks her pocket right back, and another free hit awarded to Ball State. Hilton in a bit of trouble, and a foul called. It'll go back to the Bobcats, and that has to be frustrating for Ball State. You have opportunity after opportunity inside the shooting circle, unable to come up with any points.
Frustrating, but I'm a glass half full type of guy, and the way I see it, they didn't let the possession die. Went back and got possession multiple times. I think that's the momentum that they need to build.
You know, I like that. There are 2 sides to every story. I kind of played the pessimist role there. You're the optimist. I like it. Sasha DeKotla for Ohio attacking towards the 25 on that far side. Poked out by Rochat. Ohio does get it back, though, at the 25 on the free hit. DeKotla, who has 4 goals on the season, she comes from South Africa. Passes it inside the D. Lewis gets a stick to it for Ball State. Emily Beitzel hightailing after it on the near side. Lets it go out of bounds. It will be Ohio ball.
Yeah, and DeKotla right now showing you why she has the reputation that she does. She's been a problem so far and is only going to continue to pester this Cardinals defense.
Rachel Bond, another steal, and tried to get Wyckoff. Wyckoff could have just gone coast to coast, could have had a one-on-one play with the goalkeeper if Plan didn't get the angle, but instead the pass is offline. And the flick pass, Rachel Bond tried to get a hold of it for Ball State, but it goes off of her stick and out of bounds on the near side. Now 9:30 to play in the second quarter. Ohio with a 1-0 lead. Emily Risser on the inbound. And Emily Risser, we talk about with Deborah James, her mother playing on the Ugandan field hockey team. Risser, she has Ohio field hockey in her bloodline. Her mother, Allison Hoff, played field hockey at Ohio from 1990 to 1993.
Yeah, absolutely. And Risser, like you mentioned, is a big part of this Ohio team. Has started 14 of the 16 games so far this season. They'll look to her more today as this game goes on.
It's not just her that has in the bloodline. We talk about Deborah James, but also Natalie LaFleur. Her mother played at App State in the MAC. And Noah DeMera, shot attempt inside the shooting circle, goes wide right. Hannah Johnson didn't have to do much, but Ball State, a sigh of relief as Noah DeMera is quite dangerous. 16 shot attempts, leads Ohio, 2 goals for her on the year.
Yeah, and you don't want to give her that shot attempt too many times. She turned, she fired just about 10 yards away. I'm surprised she didn't put it on goal, but very dangerous again from the Bobcats inside the shooting circle.
Sasha DeCotla takes it right back, one-on-one with Granny. Her shot attempt wide right. Looks like Michaela Granny got to stick to it. Last year, she was the MAC Defensive Player of the Year, and that is for a reason.
That's a great recovery on a bad giveaway that led to instant transition offense for the Bobcats. Great recovery.
And Sophie Vanderwall fouls there as Lauren Lewis has it again for Ball State on that near side. Under 8 minutes to play in the second quarter. Ohio with a 1-0 lead. The Bobcats, from the looks of it, they are pressing pretty hard as a flick shot goes right past Emily Risser of Ohio and into the stick of Paloma Gomez Rengifo. A nuke plan right behind her gives possession to the Bobcats. Emily Risser on the free hit now. She scoots it across, looking for Marie DeGrand, who had Ohio's lone goal today.
Yeah, and DeCotla just checked out of the game, which should be another sigh of relief for this Cardinals defense. But Ohio's a deep team as well, and it's not necessarily getting any easier.
Yeah, especially when you check in Deborah James right there. James she's really a player that you don't see her taking a lot of shots, as she is a defender. 1 shot attempt on the year, 1 shot on goal attempt. But now Ohio with it on that far side. They pass it across there at the 50. Deborah James looks to go across the timeline. Maddie Summit, who checks in for Ball State, guarding her closely.
I think this is a fantastic job in these last 5 minutes from Ohio of weathering the storm. Whenever you give up a goal like that in an important game, there's going to be kind of a response to, okay, let's get urgent, let's get aggressive, let's get this goal back. And Ball State had that. They had a long possession in the attacking half, but now Ohio has kind of weathered the storm and they're returning the game back to normal. I think that's a big victory for the Bobcats.
Rachel Bond has it off of the Nadine Loops takeaway. Gives it back to Summit. Summit tries to give it right back on that near side, but it's too long on the pass. Ohio now with it.
It's a good look, but that's an unforced error that the Cardinals are going to need to clean up, and I'm sure they'll be hearing about it at halftime.
For sure, especially in a 1-0 game where if the score stays this way, every little mistake you'll be looking at in film the next day, just wondering what could have been. But Rachel Bond now has it. Zoe Collins guards her in a free hit for Ball State on the attacking 25 on the near side. The Cardinals in business yet again. Let's see if they can accumulate some points. Lauren Lewis now has it back in between the 50 and the 25. Pass back to Graney at the 50.
And one thing the Cardinals are doing a really nice job of is taking the contact, not afraid to get fouled, and thus giving themselves opportunities. They need to keep that up to get more penalty corners, things like that, but they're really doing a nice job of going in fearless with the ball.
Mila Kopp inbounds it for Ohio. Mila Kopp, and you see that really with Ohio and Ball State, a lot of players on the All-MAC academic team. Mila Kopp, it goes all the way back to high school where she was the valedictorian. Pass on the far side intended for Basil. First time we've called her name today. Granny pokes it out, so Ohio gets possession on their attacking side, on the left side. They try to scoot it across, but Granny with the takeaway goes out of bounds on the far side off of Addie Basil, who has played 10 games this year, yet to start in any, but Granny now has it. And for Michaela Granny, it does have to be quite frustrating. Graduate student, it's your final year, and then you get injured for a vast majority of the season. It's the first time going back to freshman year that she hasn't even started in games, but she did start today. She's played in 8 games, started in 6 this year.
I'm sure it's frustrating, but also when you're a veteran, you're more used to those sort of things like in-season injuries, and she's done a great job of getting herself back to the field and no doubt was a leadership presence even when she's not playing for this team.
Yeah, and she's back like she never left. Paloma Gomez-Rengifo dishes it off to Emma Van Hall, who's now inside the D on the far side. You know it could be dangerous when she's in there. On the back line, tries to pass it off to Maddie Summit, just goes off to her right. Emily Beitzel with the costly takeaway for Ball State. Now the pass off, looks for Noah DeMera. She has it at the 25, one-on-one with Lewis, Ohio in business. Lewis tries to poke it away. Now she's at the top of the shooting circle. Here's a shot, and she misses it. She completely whiffed it. Didn't even make contact with the ball.
Yeah, well, the game's starting to speed up now. Emma Van Hall with a fantastic run. She took on at least 3 defenders, knifing towards the goal, got the ball into the middle of the shooting circle in a very dangerous area. There were no white jerseys there to clean it up, but we haven't really called her name yet today. That's a fantastic sign of life for the very, very talented junior from the Netherlands.
Yeah, Van Hall, when she does get into that shooting circle, you know what that means for Ohio. She has 33 shot attempts, 21 of those being on goal. Now Maya Gwynn has it for the Cardinals on the far side. It's poked out by Kopp, but a free hit awarded to Ball State at the 50. They try to scoot it across the loops. She's able to get it in a sea of black right out of it. Now Ball State with it, Julia Verratti, who had her first career goal against Longwood a couple of weeks ago. Reagan Kunkel on the far side loses control, and a whistle blown. Ball State gets it back as we are under 2:30 to play. Ohio a 1-0 lead in the second quarter. Nadine Loops flicks it up inside the D. Verratti gets it. Ball State, here's the shot from Hilton. Doesn't make much contact with it. Looks like that may have been a pass intended for Cleo Van Roosel. Sasha DeKatla comes up with it outside of the D, but a stoppage in play gives Ohio possession with 2 minutes left in the second quarter.
You feel a sense of urgency to have this game knotted up by halftime because if you can, all of a sudden, you go into the break and you have all the momentum on your side. But right now, Ohio's sort of slowly letting the air out of this game, and that's a dangerous, dangerous thing. That's when the second goal comes from Ohio. If they catch you sleeping, Ball State needs to keep this attacking energy up.
Lewis flicks it up, and Ohio is able to stick it cleanly. Impressive play by Emily Beitzel, the sophomore from Hershey, Pennsylvania. Beitzel, she did have her first career goal this year. That was against Longwood, and we talked about Longwood in the pregame show. They have a game tonight against App State that's super important for both teams in the standings. Ball State 5th in the MAC, Longwood 6th, Ohio 7th. But with a win today, Ohio can get into that top 6. Here's a shot from Van Hall, kicked away by Lotz. But Ball State gets it back at the top of the key. But Ohio gets it back. Anouk Plan picks the pocket. Lauren Lewis now with it for Ball State as the pass is too long. Out of play on the near side. Van Hall, pass intended for Loops, just out of reach on the back line. Emma Van Hall, a shot attempt. Looked like she had an opportunity.
That is fantastic stick work from Emma Van Hall to even get herself open. She was operating in such tight corners, and then all of a sudden, she finds an angle to get a shot off on goal. Not the hardest shot to save for Macy Lotz. She was there, really didn't have to move, but still great pressure created by Van Hall, who's starting to make her presence felt in this game.
Yeah, even if those shot attempts aren't good, the more you rack those up, the more pressure it puts on a goalkeeper as the flick pass from Ohio goes out of play on the near side. Lauren Lewis now for Ball State. She smacks it across to Emma Van Hall. On that near side, poked out of bounds by Beitzel. They're going to say last contact by Van Hall, though, so Ohio takes possession. Under 20 seconds to play here in the first half. Mila Kopp goes back to Bodie Littlefield. They're just going to dribble the clock out as much as they can. Hopefully for them, Ball State doesn't get a turnover. That will not be the case. Clock strikes to 0, and that'll do it for the first half of play here at Briner Sports Complex. The Ohio Bobcats holding on to a narrow 1-0 lead over the Ball State Cardinals.
Yeah, and I think you have to be thrilled with that half if you're Ohio. Coming in on the road, putting up 30 scoreless minutes, dealing with the pressure, as we will take a break for halftime here. 10 minutes are on the clock. We'll be right back with the halftime report. You're listening to SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
So just how big is the Mammoth Pizza at Mancino's? How about a big 24-inch round pizza loaded with all of your favorite toppings? Made to order just for you when you call 287-1300. The perfect size for the big game, the next game, or any event that demands not only the best, but the biggest pizza you can order. And Mancino's is ready anytime. Call, wait 10 to 15 minutes, then head to Mancino's for pickup. Man, is it good. When a large pizza isn't enough, you need at least one Mammoth from Mancino's.
Pepsi Zero Sugar has a new, better flavor. A Zero Sugar Cola has never tasted this good. But we don't expect you to take our word for it, so we're putting it to the test. Starting with me. My mouth is watering already, so I think we can skip the drum roll and get right to the main event. Cue the fireworks. We have an official best Zero Sugar ever. It's delicious, it's refreshing, and it's so good you'll need to try it for yourself. Trust me. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Zero never tasted so good. That's what I like.
Standards. High standards. That's what sets teams apart. It's also what sets us apart at Pridemark Construction. We're not alone in holding our standards high. Ball State University is among those who do. That's why we're proud to sponsor the Ball State Athlete of the Week. High standards in everyday performance is everything in sport, as well as business. Join us in our pursuit of excellence. Join Pridemark Construction for your next building project and in our support of Ball State University's Athlete of the Week.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, Papergo toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
From the bell tower to your smartphone, anywhere in the world.
Never miss Ball State Sports with SportsLink Digital. The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU SportsLink.
Welcome back from Briner Sports Complex for the Victory Honda of Muncie halftime show. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Daniel Sullivan. The Ball State Cardinals trail 1-0 to the Ohio Bobcats. The water cannons are out, wetting the field for a second half action of play. A bit of an overcast day. The clouds are starting to pile in more. But Daniel, just to kind of recap that first half, a lot of just good defense from both teams. And especially for Ohio, Macy Lotz with a pair of saves. But for Ohio, they struck early in that second quarter. There were no penalty corners in the first quarter for either team. But in the first 30 seconds of that second quarter, Marie DeGrand, the freshman from Belgium for the Bobcats, scores her second goal of the season. And Ball State has been unable to respond since. But they have created some pressure inside that shooting circle. How important is that, even if they're not scoring, to just keep creating that pressure?
Well, I will say, firstly, probably the most frustrating thing about that half for Ball State is that it should be 0-0. They're obviously very frustrated to give up that goal. Wasn't a big attack by Ohio or anything. They were just suddenly in the shooting circle. And then credit to Maria DeGrand for finishing with composure and putting the ball in a tight spot. But in terms of attacking, they have to be very happy, I think, with how they responded to the goal. It sort of woke them up, you know, when you're chasing the game. There's a much bigger sense of urgency, and I thought they did a great ball of putting the ball into dangerous areas. And then in the last 5 minutes, Emma Van Hall, coming alive, just put her 22nd shot on goal of the season. That is such a ridiculous stat line, and I have no doubts they're going to look to her more in this second half.
Yeah, and that's kind of the relief for both teams when it comes to their primary their primary ball handlers for Ball State, Emma Van Hall and Anouk Plan, both have one more year after this, but still there's a lot of urgency. Not to say that both of these teams don't have a bright future, but also considering that to make the MAC tournament this year, the expanded format, a lot of great graduate students for both teams, including both goalkeepers. Macy Lotz gets her 92nd and her 93rd save on the year for Ohio. But to kind of shift gears more towards the Ball State end of things, a positive note, they didn't have a single penalty corner allowed against them. That was an issue all season. They've allowed 124 in just 15 games. So Daniel, how do they keep up that production?
Well, it's a mindset. They're playing very disciplined. They're playing very calm, all outside of that one goal, obviously. And I think, like we mentioned in the pregame show, it's that fourth quarter. Being outscored 16-4 in the fourth quarter, just to reiterate that stat. It has been such a weak area for them, and I think, again, that's why they'll come out of this halftime break and really embrace the third quarter as a chance to build up some ground, because stamina has been an issue for them late in games.
Yeah, you can tell they do get tired towards the end of these games. The second quarter hasn't been great for them all year. Only 2 goals scored for Ball State in the second quarter all year, and both of those came in the last few games, one against Queens and then another against Central Michigan. That was the second conference win for Ball State on the year. That's what put them in position to be 5th in the MAC right now. And for both teams, you don't want to look too far ahead in the future. You want to be focused on this half of field hockey, but I'm sure they'll be keeping a close eye on Longwood and App State tonight, especially the winner of this game.
I was going to say the winner will be more excited about it than the loser. But right now, they're both focused on just controlling their own destiny. I will say, from a strategy standpoint, we talked about the stamina of both of these teams. That first half flew by, almost no stoppages, almost no time for the players to catch their breath. Both teams playing a very high press, trying to win the ball back quickly. I think we'll see the field open up in the fourth quarter. Just a lot of opportunities for both sides because the back lines are going to be tired. They play a lot of minutes, and I think it's going to get to them.
Yeah, I saw that more towards the second quarter where just the intensity and the speed of the game really intensified, really got faster. We even saw that when Emma Van Hall got faster on that coast-to-coast play. But we're going to take it to break here for halftime. We'll be right back for third quarter action. You are listening to Ball State Field Hockey on SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
For the best stories, access, and coverage of Ball State sports, follow SportsLink on social media platforms Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Search @BSU SportsLink.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Your home for live Ball State sports, streaming right in your timeline.
This is SportsLink Digital.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, Papergo toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
SportsLink is the official production partner of Ball State Athletics.
All the chirp you can handle.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
You're listening to SportsLink Digital, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
We are back on, folks. Now, we're about to get started here for this third quarter of action. Still a stoppage in play in Ohio. They keep it rolling. The flick pass for Mila Kopp bounces out of play on the end line. Ball State, the start to the third quarter, they want as they trail 1-0. The Cardinals in the all-white uniforms, Ohio with the black jerseys and green shorts on a mostly overcast day.
Yeah, I thought we were running into some technical difficulties there right at the end of the half, but it always helps to check that your microphone is unmuted. In this case, that's exactly what was wrong with both of our microphones. And we are back online now, ready for the start of the second half. I am very, very interested to see the intensity that both sides come out with. This is their season. We've been talking about it all day. This is a crucial, crucial game, a must-win for both of them. These will be a very interesting 15 minutes.
Yeah, I think we both just had a collective sigh of relief right there. Emma Van Hall passes it on the left side to Maya Gwynn. She's just outside the D, gets past to Kotla. Now at the top of the shooting circle, it's Emma Hilton donning a new number today. Tries to go inside to Verratti, picked off by Ohio. Bobcats get possession. It's Bodie Littlefield. A lot of players on this Ohio team, as Lauren Lewis gets it back for the Cardinals, were multi-sport athletes growing up. Littlefield, she did play basketball. She won a state championship in Maine back in 2018. Foul called on Noah Demera at midfield on the near side. Maya Gwynn now takes it for Ball State and dishes it off to Jessica Rochat. Goes off the stick of Michaela Granny into the grasp of Lauren Lewis.
Yeah, and Lewis, I got to give credit to her. We talked about it, the press. They were specifically pressing her very hard into her defensive corner. She has responded really well, starting this half with a takeaway to gain back possession. She's been passing the ball well. Really exceptional start from the freshman.
Yeah, defensively, too. She has been pretty solid. She's doing all that you can for this Cardinals team. Emma Van Hall tries to get past the Kotla. Looks like she draws a foul on her. Gwynn now with it. She goes back on the near side to Rochat. They're on the left side of the field this time around, the right side in the first half. We're 2 minutes gone in the third quarter, a 1-0 Ohio lead. Rochat attacking on the free hit. Gives to Gwynn, now back to Rochat. Now they move it backwards across the timeline at the 50 to Michaela Granny. Ball State, the ball movement. We talked about the speed and the pace of play that was very prevalent in the second quarter, but Ball State, now they pounce. Tomahawk shot. Lotz kicks it away. Verratti with the tip in, just goes off to the right. Cardinals looked to tie it, couldn't quite do it. But Ball State does get possession back. Looks like it just barely went off a Bobcat.
Well, no question, the best look of the day right there for the Cardinals. One shot, a great shot from just inside the shooting circle, saved by Macy Lotz, and then you get a rebound. Wasn't the best look on the rebound, but still, that's two shots to start the second half. And really, the ball's been down in Ohio's defensive half for the entirety of these first 3 minutes. Great opening start from the Cardinals.
And from my angle, that tip-in attempt on the second try, it looked just inches away from getting through. Probably more like feet, but still, nonetheless, Lewis moves it up to Bond. Dangerous pass, gives Ohio possession for what seems like the first time in forever. Emily Risser now takes it from her own 25 or just short of it on that far side.
Well, and the question for the Cardinals is going to be, how long can you keep this intensity up? Ohio is designed to kind of bunker down, weather the storm, as there's another giveaway.
Yeah, Grace Clokey takes it right from her. Emma Van Hall attacking to Kotla, pokes it out of bounds. Just out of play on that end line. Cardinals get it back with 11:15 left in the third quarter. A 1-0 Ohio lead. Ball State looks to tie and look to hold on to fifth place in the Mid-American Conference. Remember, 6 teams get into that MAC tournament. Ball State currently placing 5th with 2 games left after this. Just on that back line, the Cardinals juggle, goes out of play. Ball State rebounds. They will reset just outside of the D. Cardinals keep it pushing. Van Hall now with it. She pushes, passes up. Wyckoff. Her attempt, and that will be a penalty corner for the Cardinals. It's their second of the day. The first one unsuccessful, but the masks come on for the Bobcats.
Great work from the Cardinals there again to not give up on the possession. Keep pushing. Honestly, that ball just flicked into the area in a dangerous position, and they get a penalty corner out of it. That's exactly what they were looking for. Now you've got to convert.
If Jenna Wyckoff was in a pretty solid position for Ball State to make her mark on the game, get her 3rd career goal, her 2nd goal of the season. But now Emma Hilton will inbound on the left side of the cage. 5 in the cage for Ohio, 10:43 left in the 3rd quarter. Ball State looks to tie it up at 1 here.
Yeah, and this feels like a crucial moment. You've been building your attack. Now you get an opportunity. Gotta cash in.
Cash in is the perfect way to describe it. Can Ball State take advantage of the opportunities? And that was Ohio's key to the game in the 2nd quarter. They were creating opportunities, 4 shot attempts. It got them that goal from Marie DeGrand. Emma Hilton on the inbound for Ball State, the left side of the field. She heaves it up. They heave it up for Van Hall. Gives Hilton on the end line. Unable to get a shot attempt off. Bodie Littlefield playing pitch-perfect defense for Ohio, but Ball State does reset. They're going to get another try at this, another penalty corner.
And that's kind of a heartbreaker because they had a great play drawn up. Emma Van Hall gives it right back to Emma Hilton, who mishandled the pass. She had an open net to shoot on with just her and the goalie. Great misdirection. They get another chance.
Hilton draws it up. Now Hilton, shot attempt, unable to get through. Lotz pokes it back out to Ball State. Wyckoff, tomahawk shot goes wide left. Towards the end line, Ohio gets possession back, and the masks come off.
What a huge stand. Kind of like a goal line stand there from Macy Lotz, who makes 2 saves. And that's a huge victory for the Bobcats. Like we said, they just want to get this game calmed down. They want to get the pressure off of them. They're Ball State threatening easily their best looks all day on multiple possessions. And now you can sort of start to breathe, try to get possession back in your favor. That's a huge, huge save. Macy Lotz, so far the graduate student, has been the best player on the field today by far.
Oh, I would definitely agree with that statement. She's the reason why this is still a 1-0 game, especially in this 3rd quarter. The amount of good looks Ball State has gotten on that 2nd penalty corner, it just seemed like the opposite approach to the 1st attempt, where they had a little bit more strategy. The 2nd time, it was just give it to your best shot taker in Emma Van Hall and kind of hope for the best. But Van Hall has it on the free hit. Jessica Rochat takes it out on the near side for Ball State. Under 10 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter, a 1-0 Ohio lead.
Well, and you can't be upset with that penalty corner if you're the Cardinals. You got the ball to your best player in Emma Van Hall, and she got a great look. You really can't ask for much more than that. It's just a clutch play from the graduate student in Macy Lotz.
Yeah, and I'm sure if we were to ask Caitlin Walsh, like in a penalty corner situation, who would you feel most comfortable with the ball in their grasp? And it would be Emma Van Hall. Ball State, they get the turnover. Ohio, the first time they were inside their own 25, moved very quickly, but the Cardinals have it right back. Cleo Van Russell now on the far side attacking, has a good look, but it's poked away by Ohio. A nuke plan, playing great defense to poke that ball out, but Paloma Gomez-Rengifo intercepts it for Ball State just outside of the shooting circle. She's able to get it back off of the turnover, though. Sasha DeKotla, that speed and intensity, able to get the ball. Emma Hilton passes, goes out of bounds on the end line, but Ball State does get it right back at their attacking 25.
All credit to her. Anouk Plan is a fantastic defender, but she got a little lucky on this last play. Cleo Van Russo was heading with a full head of steam towards the goal. Plan dropped her stick, and it happened to be in the path of the ball. That stopped the momentum for the Cardinals, and now it looks like the Bobcats are going to work their way out of another jam.
And that's an unfortunate play for Ohio. Deborah James tries to pass to Cal, goes between her legs, so Ball State gets possession at the 25, walking the tightrope on the near side. The turnover there for Emily Beitzel of the Bobcats, and they're able to draw up a free hit. With 7:20 to play in the 3rd quarter, Ohio holds on to a narrow 1-0 lead over the Ball State Cardinals. Deborah James, she scoops it up. Pass intended for DeKotla, but Maya Gwynn takes possession for the Cardinals. Now they're in between the 50 and their own 25 with Jessica Rochat in control. DeKotla may have stepped out of bounds there, no call, but she keeps it forward on the near side. And some contact from Rochat gives Ohio a free hit inside their attacking 25. Now Annie Ryan, who has played and started in all 15 games now to this point on the end line, passes inside to DeKotla. She has 4 goals. Whistle blown. Ball State gets it back. That's huge for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it is. That was the first kind of sign of life from the Bobcats. This quarter has been all Cardinals. I really don't think you could ask for much more if you're Caitlin Walsh, but maybe a goal would be nice.
A goal would definitely be nice, but still, we're only about halfway through this third quarter. Still plenty of time for Ball State to get on the board, but you still want to have that sense of urgency as the ball goes out of bounds, intended for Nadine Loops. So the Bobcats take it out on the right side of the field, their side of attacking. Mila Kopp, the graduate student from Louisville, Kentucky, now inbounds to Emily Beitzel. Beitzel guarded by Loops. Loops guarding her closely, tries to get inside the D, goes out of bounds on the end line. Looks like it could have gone off her foot. So Ball State gets possession.
And it's much too early. Ohio knows this. It's much too early for them to just park the bus, hold their 1-0 lead, and try to escape out of Muncie with that kind of a victory. It doesn't happen very often that you can just sort of hunker down and play defense for a whole half. That's not what they're trying to do, and they're sort of showing some signs of life here on offense.
Yeah, exactly. You got to play a full 15 minutes on both sides of the ball. Ohio now with it. Merle Cowell, the senior. Her pass attempt inside the shooting circle gets poked away by the freshman Lauren Lewis, and Ball State gets it on a free hit from their own D. Michaela Granny has it at midfield.
I think Lauren Lewis deserves another shout out for just how solid she is back there. I mean, there are no concerns when she's handling things.
Yeah, does Lauren Lewis get your sticker of approval?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, she's been huge today for the Cardinals. And again, not an every game starter being asked to step up in a huge conference matchup. She's done her job.
Yeah, that's all you can really ask for, doing her job, and then some as well. Maya Gwynn now with it for Ball State. On the takeaway, Christine DeTizio tries to lob it up for Paloma Gomez Renjifo, but too much mustard on the pass. Goes out of bounds on the end line.
Yeah, and that's a little bit impatient. Again, you don't need to make that type of pass, and I think you mentioned it in the first half, but every single one of those passes or possessions that you squander without too much pressure is just heartbreaking to look back on in film. I mean, you really need every chance you can get to even this game up, as we have played just over 2/3 of the contest now.
Yep, under 4 minutes to play now. Ohio a 1-0 lead. Sasha DeKatla checks out of the game for Ohio. In comes Natalie LaFleur, but still you have a great offensive player in Natalie LaFleur checking in for DeKatla, who has 3 goals on the season, a total of 7 points. Ohio has it at midfield. It's a nuke plan, and her pass intended for Basil goes wide left on the end line. Ball State gets it at midfield, about 3 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the third quarter.
Head coach Caitlin Walsh is just screaming on the far side at her team, trying to give frantic instructions. We've seen some adjustments now. Lauren Lewis playing up a little bit higher, going with 2 defenders at the back. She wants so badly to equalize this game, and I mentioned it in the pregame show, but it is not often that you're at 3-11 on the season, still have a chance to put yourself into postseason play. In fact, they're not even in the last spot right now. They're tied for 5th, and this is just a huge chance to stay at Briner. And like you said, they haven't really done anything wrong. The one goal, sort of fluky, just a nice shot, but that makes losses all the more frustrating.
Indeed it does, and for Caitlin Walsh, you have to feel the sense of urgency. 2022, her first season as at the helm of Ball State, makes the MAC tournament back when only 4 teams got in. Last year just didn't quite go their way, but this year there's an even bigger opportunity. 6 teams get into this MAC tournament, and the Cardinals want to punch their ticket, and Caitlin Walsh, that would be huge for her resume, even though she will be here to stay for quite some time, extended her contract until 2026, but still to have 2 out of your first 3 years in the MAC tournament, that's huge for a new head coach.
Yeah, as Van Hall draws a foul down there. Absolutely, and of course Walsh has to be frustrated when they add the 6 teams rule the season after you finish 6th in the conference, but really she just wants to get back there this year. You mentioned it. And we are just about 2 minutes away from the end of the third quarter. I think if Ohio can hold their shutout, that's a massive, massive victory.
Yeah, considering the amount of shot attempts from these Cardinals, especially on penalty corners, but Ball State playing a press on the left side, Christine DeTizio bringing the heat. Maya Gwynn with it, dribbles from right to left, dishes it off to DeTizio. She's on the back line inside the shooting circle, poked out by Merle Cal of Ohio. Ball State retains possession. They reset with 1:30 left in the third quarter. Rochat inside the D. Didn't look like a shot attempt, looked like a pass attempt where nobody was home, but it trickles out of bounds on the end line, wide right of the cage. Ohio gets possession as we approach the 1-minute mark in the third quarter.
Yeah, nobody was home on that pass, but also no Bobcats got to stick to it. That was very dangerous. You just have to feel like a goal is coming. Possession has been in Ohio's half for this entire quarter.
Yeah, something has to give. I totally agree, Daniel. Emma Van Hall, she tomahawks it inside the D, got very close to the cage, and it's kicked away by Macy Lotz. That's a penalty corner. Ball State gets their third of the quarter.
Third of the quarter, fourth of the game. You have to cash in on these opportunities. I just used that phrase a couple minutes ago, but every time you get one of these opportunities, there's going to be less time on the clock, and it becomes more and more urgent.
52 seconds left in this third quarter. Ball State with an opportunity to tie this one up. Like we mentioned, 4 penalty corners on the day for Ball State, 3 in the quarter. Emma Hilton will inbound on the left side of the cage. Looks to her right at the 5 Bobcats in the cage. Looks at the official, and we are about to get started for a crucial play for Ball State, one of the most important plays of the game. They heave it up for Granny. Now back to Renhefo. Here's the shot from Van Hall. Does it get through? It sure does. Not quite, actually. They're not going to give it to her. That was just outside of the shooting circle. Ohio, they were celebrating like they had a goal, but instead Ohio gets it on the other end. Jessica Rochat gets it back, though, from Addie Basil. It's still 1-0 Ohio. Wow.
Yeah, chaos there as that ball went in the net, and it looked like Macy Lotz tried to save it. So I absolutely thought that a goal was good there, but a whistle just before the shooting attempt. That's heartbreaking for the Cardinals. They executed the penalty corner to perfection. Nice little pass, a misdirection. Van Hall was shooting wide open with no one in front of her. That is heartbreaking. We stay at 1-0.
She does have an opportunity inside the D with 10 seconds left. She gets tripped up. It'll be a free hit. The clock moves down, but they stop it at 2.5 seconds left in the third quarter. And will it be another penalty corner? That's the question as Ohio gathers. It looks like that's exactly what this is going to be. Oh, no, they're going to review this. A video review for the officials with 2.5 seconds left. I think what they're looking to review is, did that foul happen inside the shooting circle? Because it looked like Emma Van Hall was right on the edge of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're looking at. And if you get another penalty corner, having 4 penalty corners in 1 quarter and not converting is just heartbreaking. And now a nice little opportunity here for Caitlin Walsh actually to have a timeout with her team. I think absolutely in that huddle, they're going to play to the scenario that you are going to be awarded a penalty corner, and this is the play we're going to come out with. Ohio, interestingly, huddling on the field, not going over to consult their head coach.
Yeah, that is something interesting to monitor. Allie Johnstone, yeah, still on that sideline. That is very interesting. But yeah, 2.5 seconds in this third quarter. This review, it's everything for Ball State. I'm not going to say everything because we still have another quarter to play after this. But the fact of the matter is, if Ball State is able to successfully get a penalty corner here, it would be their 5th of the game, 4th of the quarter. And just the heartbreaking ways they have been unable to get goals, especially in the third quarter. Even like right there, when it looked like it went into the goal for Emma Van Hall, but that late whistle just right before the shot.
And we've stopped the clock now at 2.6 seconds. This is another interesting predicament. The clock will start on the referee of the whistle, not necessarily on the hit of the stick from the penalty corner. So Ball State doesn't have a lot of time here. This might have to be a direct shot as soon as you pass the ball.
Yeah, indeed. It's got to go right to Michaela Granny, who she's usually been the one at the top of the key. So, or Emma Van Hall. It really depends. But we'll have to wait and see if this is even a successful review for Ball State. 2.5 seconds, though. You go into the fourth quarter. Let's assume it's still a 1-0 game going into this fourth quarter. How can the Cardinals take advantage? How can they get themselves I'm not going to say back into this ball game. It's still very close, but how can they get themselves in a position to tie or even take the lead?
Again, I think it just comes down to mentality. You have to look at the quarter you just played, even if you come up empty-handed and say, hey, the momentum is with us. We have them on their heels. We have them not necessarily right where we want them, but we're threatening. And you just have to keep that mentality up for all 15 minutes. You have to fight through the pain of having played now an exhausting game. You're towards the end of the season. You got to push all of that away and keep the MAC tournament at the forefront of your focus.
The Cardinals are set up like they are going to get this penalty corner, which is interesting. Maybe they're just assuming, or maybe they know something. Nonetheless, because that was a very interesting play. On the left side of the shooting circle, Emma Van Hall has it. She gets tripped up, and the video review just keeping an eye on whether or not she was inside the shooting circle. And I couldn't really tell you if she was or not, because we don't have the video replay to look back on, so I really couldn't tell you. But with the amount of time they've been looking at this, it's definitely close. And especially in a tight ball game like this, you have to take your time with this kind of big call.
You do have to take your time, absolutely, and that was fascinating. Ball State went out there to set up for a penalty quarter. Then Caitlin Walsh calls them back over. They have another conference. Now they're sending their attack back out onto the field. Ohio seems to be in no hurry. They're just huddling inside the shooting circle, talking things over. We are still waiting on a signal from the referees.
But yeah, 2.5 seconds. But just to kind of talk further, tomorrow on SL Digital, another 3 o'clock start. Ball State football plays host to NIU. It's homecoming week. The Ball State Cardinals look to get a win after a loss to Vanderbilt last week.
Yeah, that game should be at 3:30, and that's a crucial game for Ball State football, trying to keep their bowl game hopes alive at 2-5. Did play a great game on the road against Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, a tough opponent this season, now ranked in the AP Top 25 poll at 25th. This week, and a chance to come back home in front of the home fans, in front of those alumni who have come home for this weekend. It's been really fun around campus with all the events leading up to this weekend, and I'm very excited about tomorrow's game. Now the referees come out of the tunnel. Let's see what they have for us. He does have his card out. Now, one thing I was thinking about, it goes Ohio's way.
If that it will go Ohio's way as they point on the right side, as we saw kind of a sigh from all of those Ball State Cardinals. Bobcats now have possession, 2.5 seconds left. The Cardinals play a press in the third quarter. See if Ohio can remain unscathed going into this fourth. They just dribble it out. And going into the fourth quarter of play, Ohio, a 1-0 lead over Ball State. It's crunch time, but the Cardinals do have their fourth quarter woes, being outscored 16-4 in the fourth quarter all season. Well, we'll be right back, folks. You are listening to Ball State Field Hockey on SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
Ranked number 2 in the nation for sports media by the Broadcast Education Association.
This is Ball State Sports Link.
Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership, and here's why. We stand behind every car we sell and are dedicated to helping our customers save time and money. All our pre-owned cars undergo a rigorous 182-point inspection and come with a 90-day warranty to ensure that you're getting a Victory quality vehicle. Plus, you'll get 2 years of complimentary oil changes and tire rotations. We're part of a top 15 dealership group and have an enormous selection of vehicles with access to inventory at over 45 locations. You always get more for your trade and the best possible rates with us. We have an excellent relationship with hundreds of lenders. Our exclusive Car Doc maintenance and membership program will help you save hundreds of dollars in the process of maintaining your vehicle. Lastly, our state-of-the-art body shop and certified technicians perform high-quality repairs and paint work on most vehicle makes and models. Victory Honda of Muncie. We're not just another car dealership.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU Sports Link.
The Hampton Inn of Muncie is the official partner of Ball State Athletics. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. The Hampton Inn is one of Muncie's finest hotels. Come enjoy our free breakfast, free Wi-Fi, and fresh Hampton beds waiting for you. Less than a mile away from Ball State campus. Don't forget to ask about our Ball State special. Search Hampton Inn of Muncie online at munciesuites.hamptoninn.com.
The best stories in Ball State sports, plus live broadcasts, right in your timeline.
Follow us at BSU SportsLink.
Fourth quarter of action at Briner Sports Complex. It's crunch time for both teams. The Ohio Bobcats a 1-0 lead over the Ball State Cardinals. Cardinals get possession first. They start off with it. Lauren Lewis sticks it cleanly on the far side. They move from right to left. The sky begins to kind of brighten up a little bit more of a sunny skies. It was really cloudy in the third quarter. Lauren Lewis has it at her own back line, gives to Granny, skeets it across on the far side. Julia Verratti hightailing after it, but it goes all the way to the other end line, going almost 75 yards to open up this fourth quarter.
Well, and like you said, the sun did come out during the break, and the Cardinals have to hope that's a good omen that the clouds will lift on their offensive attack. 14 minutes to go now in a crucial must-win game. We haven't mentioned this at all, actually. If Ohio wins today, they do jump up by half a game. They are catchable, but now they have the head-to-head advantage over you. They have the tiebreaker, which could be crucial as the standings are so close with just 3 games to play.
Yeah, Noah DeMera has it on the fast break, looking to get inside the D, and the pass goes wide right towards the end line. Hannah Johnson, the goalkeeper, wasn't even inside the D. She didn't have to touch it anyway. And especially for Ball State, it's crucial to win because after this, you play the #1 team in the MAC in JMU. Anything's possible, but you don't want to bank on a win there and at Bellarmine to close the regular season. The MAC tournament will be played at Miami of Ohio. DeCatla tries to backhand it inside the D. It goes wide right, out of bounds on the near side. Hannah Johnston dove after that ball. Jessica Rochat has it for the Cardinals on a free hit. Now it's Michaela Granny.
Way too close for comfort there to open this fourth quarter for the Cardinals. DeCatla turned, had the ball, had a bit of space, but she was off balance. She was going to ground as well and ended up sort of just flicking it wide of goal, sort of parallel to the goal line, not really getting a good angle on it. Still a scare to open this last frame.
Yeah, it's kind of like deja vu of that second quarter when Marie DeGrand scored for Ohio just within the first 30 seconds. But Ball State, they're in business just outside the D. Rachel Bond has it, but not for long as Ohio gets possession back. Another fugacious possession for the Cardinals. Goes out of play on the far side. There was a sea of white and a sea of black, and it goes Ohio's way. They scoop it up and send it on the right side to Natalie LaFleur, who hasn't gotten many touches today for the Bobcats. Looks to change that in the fourth quarter. Unable to field it cleanly as it bounces out of bounds on the end line. But it looks like there was some contact made just before it went out of bounds. So Ohio is able to regain possession. They reset on their attacking 25 with 12 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, a 1-0 Bobcat lead.
It'll be interesting to see if the body language of the Cardinals changes from kind of, well, we're going to go get back in the game to all of a sudden, hey, our time is running out. When you come out of halftime, you get the halftime speech behind you, you're fired up, you're ready to equalize. Now, you've been playing for a while and the score hasn't changed. That clock is getting dangerously low at 11:45, and you sort of start to get more and more desperate. They'll need to keep their composure on the attacking side of things.
Granny scooped it up, sent it over Ball State's way, but a free hit for Ohio. A new plan goes across the pitch to Bodie Littlefield. Littlefield goes from right to left, but Maya Gwynn picks her pocket. Cardinals have possession now, but in a bit of a double team. Some stick-to-stick contact between DeCatla and Grace Clokey of the Cardinals gives Ball State a free hit. And Jessica Rochat has it for Ball State, and she flicks it up on the near side for Gwynn, and she is able to stick it cleanly. And poked out of bounds by Littlefield. Ball State keeps possession, this time around the 50 on the near side.
Not to state the obvious, but I think you have to be looking at Emma Van Hall here as this fourth quarter goes on. She's been dangerous today. She's been herself. We mentioned, didn't see too much of her against UC Davis. She was quiet. Only 1 shot recorded in that game, and it wasn't on goal today. 2 shots on goal, and a lot of great stuff that doesn't show up in the box score. A lot of hustle, a lot of getting around defenders, creating opportunities for her teammates. She has also not played too much. She's been out of the game a couple times. She should be well rested for this final quarter.
I think that was exactly Caitlin Walsh's plan, to just keep her well rested for a very important fourth quarter. But who knows, as Ohio now attacks on their attacking side of the 25. They reset. It's Merle Cow with the free hit. Lauren Lewis intercepts it, gets between 2 Bobcats. Now she's in a sea of black, tries to dish it off to Van Hall, but it's picked off again from Ohio. A nuke plan gives to Sasha DeCotlaw. Emma Hilton's right there, though, tries to poke it away. Who comes up with possession? Hilton kicks it. And Ball State does get possession, though. Looks like maybe DeCotlaw got a foot on as well.
Yeah, and she was arguing her case there, but it looked like they might have been able to call a double team as well. Ball State gains possession, then gives it away. An errant pass just between 2 backline defenders.
Yep, intended for Granny, goes out of bounds on that far side, and that puts Ohio in a really good position. With under 9 minutes and 30 seconds to play in this one, a 1-0 Bobcat lead. LaFleur now with it, guarded by Michaela Granny, goes from left to right, just outside the shooting circle, with 2 Cardinals on her. Whistle blown. It'll be Ball State ball. Michaela Granny now with possession with it.
Is it just me, or is this fourth quarter clock going by really quickly? Now just 9 minutes for the Cardinals to find an equalizer, and things are going to start getting desperate here very soon. Like I've said, I think we'll start to see the field open up. We'll see a lot of transition play from both sides as you know, you're tired. You're not going to be holding the same level of defensive intensity necessarily as you did in the first quarter. Be very interesting to see how the end of this game plays out.
Now Jessica Rochat guarded by Sasha DeCotlaw, and the pass steamrolls out of bounds on the far side. And I think the few stoppages in play is attributed mainly to the lack of penalty corners. We saw a lot of those, a total of four in the third quarter. That's why we saw a lot more stoppages in play, especially that long review, about 5 minutes, on whether Ball State would even get a penalty corner that was unsuccessful for the Cardinals. A foul on the offense for Ohio gives Ball State possession now back from their own 25. Only 8 minutes now left in this ball game. They're still playing from behind, down 1-0 to their MAC rival Ohio. Emily Beitzel with the takeaway on the scoop pass. Plan skeets it across the Cow. Cardinals take it away. Rochat juggles the ball. A collision on the near side. Jessica Rochat comes out victorious from it. She passes across field, and Ohio with yet another takeaway. Beitzel with it on that far side. She was kind of walking a tightrope, but Nadine Loops, playing some tight defense, forces it out of bounds. Ball State now has possession from their own 25.
Yeah, and on that giveaway where the pass just goes right to Emily Beitzel's stick, you can see the Ball State bench kind of slap their knees in frustration there. They know how valuable possession is, and they don't want to be giving it away like that, as now they get the ball back as we've crossed the halfway mark of this fourth quarter. Do or die time for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's like a blink of an eye. It's gone right now, and I'm sure for Ball State, they feel it too. I'm sure they feel that sort of frustration, but still, the clock is ticking, and now they're in business, trying to get inside the 25. A nuke plan gets called for the foul. Nadine Loops has it now for Ball State on the near side, just a few feet away from that shooting circle, but a costly turnover. Bodie Littlefield gets a stick to it for the Bobcats. Now Sasha DeCotlaw on the near side for Ohio goes across the timeline to the 25. Rochat chasing after her. Two South African players one-on-one. The pass inside the D. Lauren Lewis gets a hold of it, tries to intercept it, draws a free hit for Ball State.
That's clutch defense coming out of her position after DeCotlaw got around the first defender to make the play. Again, she's been huge today, and then another giveaway.
Yep, Maya Gwynn, nobody home on that pass. Looks like she's probably looking for Paloma Gomez or Nhifo on the near side, but now Mila Kopp, the graduate student, inbounds at midfield to Deborah James for Ohio. Now under 6 minutes left in this ball game. Again, Bobcats a 1-0 lead. A nuke plan skips it on over to Sophie Vanderwall, who tries to back her way in. She has a shot attempt. Hannah Johnson off the right leg. DeCotla tries to tip it back in. Ball State gets possession. Hannah Johnston, no admission.
That is so clutch from Hannah Johnston. No blinking in a situation like that. That was a wide open shot from Anouk Plan, who has kind of been quiet on the offensive front today, but we knew she would show up at some point. She gracefully sort of waltzes into the shooting circle and has a wide open shot on goal, and Johnston stands her ground, keeps the Cardinals in this game.
Hannah Johnson, in credit to Ball State's defense, they really haven't given Ohio too many opportunities to even get inside that D. That's why we haven't been calling her name as much. But when the time comes, you know she will come up in the clutch. And now under 5 minutes to play, Deborah James has it for the Bobcats, their own 25. Renhefo gets a stick to it, ball in the air, goes out of bounds on the near side. It'll be Ohio ball.
And that's good effort, though, from Renhefo. You can't hate it, trying to get her stick in there and make a play. Now you'll see Ohio sort of start to take their time when they can control it, taking a little more time to get the ball in play, things like that. They want to see all 4 minutes off this clock, and I got to hand it to them. I didn't think they'd be able to just hunker down and hold a 1-0 lead for almost 45 minutes now, but they are more than 80% of the way there.
Ohio looking to break a 2-game losing streak, and the fact that both teams are just kind of off to a slow last 5 games. Ohio's lost 4 of their last 5, just made this game feel even more important. Cleo Van Roosel gets the takeaway for Ball State. Nadine Loops is right there, but Anouk Plan gets a stick to it for the Bobcats and draws a free hit at midfield. Now 4 minutes to play in this game.
And for Ball State, this would be a crushing loss on the back of sort of a heartbreaking season. Again, they'd given themselves a chance in the MAC at 2-3, holding 5th place in the conference and getting a chance to do the job at home against Ohio. Now really close to running out of time. 3:39 to go in the ball game.
Now Emily Risser has it for the Bobcats. 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. A 1-0 lead, Ohio. I think the key to the game, it's simple. You just try to stay in this general vicinity, try and keep creating pressure on Hannah Johnson. Let's see if they can do that. Emily Beitzel now with it. Nadine Loops isn't backing down on defense. Cardinals get a stick to it. Paloma Gomez Renhefo, great stick handling, but Littlefield reaches in, and they call it a free hit for Ohio on their attacking 25.
Yeah, and good defense there from the Cardinals, but unfortunately, very, very difficult to play aggressive defense without committing a foul. And now Ohio content to just pass it around the back line. That clock ticks lower and lower for the Cardinals.
Yep, time is of the essence, Daniel. 2:45 to play in this one. Bobcats a 1-0 lead. Emma Van Hall, a big turnover for the Cardinals. She crosses the timeline into Ohio territory at the 25, just at the top of the D. She's going right to left, tries to back down 2 defenders. She's in a sea of black. No double team call. Paloma Gomez Renhefo has it. Top of the shooting circle. Tries to tomahawk it. Dangerous shot. Goes above the knee of Deborah James. Actually in her stomach area. And the question is, what will they call it? Ball State, they huddle up. It'll be a penalty corner for the Cardinals. 2:21 left in the 4th quarter. Ball State an opportunity to knot it up at 1.
And that was a dangerous pass there from Renhefo, but I think she got fouled right before that. That's a break for the Cardinals, and now you're 0 for 5 on the day from inside the shooting circle when it comes to penalty corners, but you've been given one last chance. It's all on the line here for the Cardinals.
Ball State, they could force overtime. Still a lot of time after this penalty corner, even if they do tie at 2:21 left. Ball State 1-3 on the season in overtime. Ohio 1-1 in overtime this season. Now Emma Hilton on the left side of the cage. Arguably the most important play of the game for Ball State. Hilton, they heave it up. Van Hall, she has it. Tries to pass inside, goes back to her, top of the shooting circle, gets through! Emma Van Hall ties it, her 8th goal of the season. 1-1 ball game, 2:12 left in the game.
And you just knew it would be her. Emma Van Hall, so clutch, and she had her first shot saved, did not blink, got the ball back, fired it from the top of the shooting circle, and now what a momentum boost for the Cardinals, who've been chasing that goal all game long. All of a sudden, knotted up at 1, and you can feel the energy shift here at Briner Sports Complex.
Emma Van Hall. It's always Emma Van Hall. Midfield, Ohio has it. Bodie Littlefield. Sasha DeKotla has it on the near side for the Bobcats. We approach 2 minutes left in this one. 1-1 game after the goal from Emma Van Hall.
Great execution there from the Cardinals as well on the penalty corner. A lot of pressure on that. Like we said, you've had chances all day long, and when you have a game like that where you've had chance after chance after chance and you can't break through, well, the pressure only keeps building. But a great job there of handling that penalty corner on its own, converting, and now this game's not over. They can chase a winner before the end of the ball game. 1:36 to go in regulation.
Yep, Paloma Gomez Rengifo pass across the pitch. Emma Hilton's able to field it after it was poked away by Vanderwall. Whistle blown, free hit for the Bobcats. 1:20 left in the game, tied at 1. Noah DeMera with the right hand and a free hit for Ohio on their attacking 25. Bodie Littlefield, clock is ticking, 1:10 left. Mila Kopp goes inside the D. Sasha DeKotla has it in a big turnover for Ball State. Jessica Rochat came up with it and draws a free hit. Exactly 1 minute left in this game. Cardinals have possession from their own 25.
I will say I really like the response from Ohio so far just in these 90 seconds. They did not let themselves go into shock at that late equalizer. Their bench has gotten more vocal, and it seems like their energy has picked up as well. Both teams rising to the occasion here.
Julia Verratti, the pass is intercepted by a Bobcat in Kopp. And then a pass from Ohio goes wide right towards the end line. 30 seconds left with a free hit for Ohio. They're still in business. Noah DeMera just outside of the shooting circle. 3 white jerseys surround her. Stoppage in play. Looks like Ohio gets yet another free hit opportunity. 15 seconds left in the game. Tied at 1. Ball State comes up with it. That's Emma Van Hall, who tied the game just 2 minutes prior, and her pass goes out of bounds on the near side. And looks like that will do it for regulation. We have overtime on our hands, folks. Ball State and Ohio tied at 1. Daniel, I can't believe it.
Well, the Cardinals deserve that equalizer. They've been chasing it all day long, and like we said, only Emma Van Hall able to come up with such a clutch shot, tying us at 1, and now both teams on the verge of exhaustion, but playing for their seasons. This overtime is going to be all guts.
Yep, Ball State, like we mentioned, 1-3 in overtime this year. Ohio's 1-1. A sudden death overtime period will be upon us here. We'll be right back, folks. You are listening to Ball State Field Hockey on SL Digital Radio, presented by Victory Honda of Muncie.
For the best stories, access, and coverage of Ball State sports, follow SportsLink on social media platforms Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Search @BSU SportsLink.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Your home for live Ball State sports, streaming right in your timeline.
This is SportsLink Digital.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, Papergo toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
SportsLink is the official production partner of Ball State Athletics.
All the chirp you can handle.
Whether you're getting ready for the big game or getting ready for the workday, you always want to start with confidence. Cintas has the essential products and services to help businesses provide a clean, safe environment for their employees and customers. With routine restocking of essential cleaning, hygiene, and safety supplies, on-site cleaning, professional uniform laundering, and testing and inspection of fire equipment and systems. Give everyone the confidence they need to start their day. Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
American Pest Pros is the official pest control partner of Ball State Athletics. We protect your home or business and guarantee year-round protection from insects and pests. Ask about our Ball State special, available to all Cardinal fans. Our pest control program is the safest and most effective in the industry. Even if you tried a different service and it didn't work, we'll fix your problem, guaranteed, or your money back. Visit AmericanPestPros.com. That's AmericanPestPros.com. And don't forget to ask about our Ball State special.
Ball State fans, who needs batteries? Your locally owned Battery Masters have batteries for cars, boats, golf carts, cell phones, watches, key fobs, Papergo toys for kids, and more. Bring your rechargeable batteries back to life for drills, shavers, dustbusters, and more. All Ball State fans receive a free battery checkup. Just mention Charlie Cardinal. Battery Masters is conveniently located on the corner of Walnut and Centennial, next to Mini Trista. Check us out online at batterymasters.com. Go Cards!
Ranked number 2 in the nation for sports media by the Broadcast Education Association.
This is Ball State Sports Link.
We are back for overtime between the Ball State Cardinals and the Ohio Bobcats. 1-1 our score. I'm Roen Elbert, joined by Daniel Sullivan, to quickly explain the rules of overtime here in NCAA field hockey. How it works is we will have at least one sudden death overtime period, a 10-minute period, and there would be at the very most 2 sudden death overtime periods. The third one would be a penalty shootout. We'll see if we even get to that point, but now we are underway for the first sudden death overtime period, which means all you gotta do if you're either team, just score and it's over.
Well, and what you've got to love about an overtime like this late in the season and this crucial of a game, is it comes back to how hard did you work in the offseason? Who's in better shape? Who's got the legs to take this the distance?
In Ball State right now, they're proving that they might be the ones that have the legs, that have the distance. They're already inside their own 25, but Paloma Gomez Rengifo loses it. Bodie Littlefield takes over for the Bobcats. Now they're inside their own 25. Emma Van Hall had the game-tying goal in the final minute for Ball State to tie this game up at 1. Rengifo gets a stick to it, but Littlefield recovers for the Bobcats. They go across the timeline. Pass intended for DeCatla, and it steamrolls all the way to the end line, out of play. Ball State takes possession. Now under 9 minutes to play in the first sudden death overtime period.
Well, and that was way too heavy for Merle Call there. She had Sasha DeCatla wide open, running down the right sideline, overplayed it. It rolls out of bounds. Cardinals catch a break there, as they would have been stretched thin on defense.
Now, Michaela Granny has possession for the Cardinals. They pass across just in front of their own D at the 25. DeCatla guards loops very closely as she moves towards midfield. Again, Ball State, just what a miraculous turn of events in the fourth quarter that got them to this overtime period. Nadine loops with it, guarded by Sasha DeCatla. And if we haven't mentioned it enough times before, so much at stake today. Ball State 5th in the MAC, Ohio 7th. Only 6 teams get into that MAC tournament. Ohio can get ahead of Ball State with a win over them today. Emma Van Hall on the end line. She has it. Wyckoff shot. It's over. It's over. Jenna Wyckoff wins it for the Cardinals. Ball State takes down Ohio 2-1.
And Jenna Wyckoff puts that ball into an empty net, but it's all Emma Van Hall, escaping a double team, skirting the line on the left side of the goal, finding the wide open Wyckoff, who finishes with composure. Ball State flips the script, down 1-0 for the entirety of the game, finds a late equalizer, finds an early winner in overtime, and keeps their season alive.
The senior Jenna Wyckoff, her 3rd career goal right there, and arguably the most important of them all. Ball State lives another day. They are now 1.5 games ahead over Longwood, who is 6th in the MAC, in Ohio. Now they're on the outside looking in.
Just a game ahead of Ohio. This counts for half a game in the standings. But now, the crucial thing, a game and a half above Ohio with 2 to play for both of these teams, and you own the tiebreaker. The magic number is 1 for the Cardinals to get into the MAC tournament, and just 10 real-time minutes ago, it looked like the season might be over for them. What a response, what a resilient group, and it's group hugs all around for this Cardinals team. Fired up on the sideline is Caitlin Walsh hugging her players. A resilient victory, 2-1, and heartbreak for the Bobcats. Some long conversations, some tears being shed on the right side of the field. That's sports for you. What a story. Emma Van Hall with a fantastic game today. The game-tying goal, the game-winning assist, and, of course, credit to Jenna Wyckoff. Great positioning on that last goal to be right in front of the net, slot it home, and send the Cardinals into solo possession of the 5th spot in the MAC.
Yeah, and you mentioned the tears for Ohio. I'm seeing I actually saw some tears of joy on Ball State's faces, especially from those graduate students, those seniors that, I mean, you're living on borrowed time in a sense, and just any extra moment, no matter how far you get into the MAC tournament, just any extra moment to have with your teammates. I mean, you may even consider it even your sisters in a sense, just to have those extra moments. So important.
And I don't want the performance of Hannah Johnston today to get lost at all. Gave up the early goal, forgot about it, responded with a fantastic performance on multiple occasions, keeping the Cardinals within striking range. She deserves to celebrate this win just as much as anyone. You saw her throw off her helmet, jump into the air, and race over to hug Carly Hofflick, the backup goalkeeper. This team has been through so much together, sitting at 4-11 on the season, but what's important is they are an even 3-3 in conference play, as you can hear the cheers of the Cardinal faithful who have watched a heart-stopping victory today. But the Cardinals come out on top.
But here's the thing, though. When you get to that MAC tournament, that 4-11 record, in a sense, it kind of goes out the window. It's anyone's ball game. Ball State, it's all about living another day, and that's exactly what they do, rallying behind their fans. And the interesting thing is, too, the last 3 matchups between Ball State and Ohio have ended in a 2-1 score. Back-to-back years where the Ball State and Ohio game has gone to overtime, so a little bit of deja vu there as well. But, Daniel, I have a feeling I know what your answer to this question is going to be. Who is your player of the game for Ball State?
Well, it's going to be Emma Van Hall. I know, really venturing with that one, but she was just fantastic today. They needed her to be herself, and she was, and had a quiet first quarter, picked it up in the second quarter with some offensive attacking. I also want to give credit to the game plan of Caitlin Walsh, who kind of held her out of the game in the first half. We didn't see her on the field at times. She saved Emma Van Hall's best minutes for late in the clutch, and it paid off. She was the fastest player on the field. She was the smartest player on the field, and she deserves a great amount of credit for the victory today.
And folks, that'll do it for our coverage of Ball State versus Ohio field hockey here on SL Digital. Daniel, any final words?
I mean, like you said, the season is still alive, and that's all the Cardinals can hope for at the end of today. They will pay close attention to the game between Longwood tonight, and they will see what that does for them in the standings. But right now, a euphoric victory, keeping themselves alive and really putting themselves in great position to clinch a spot in the MAC tournament.
Yep, a 3:30 start time on SL Digital tomorrow for football as Ball State plays host to Northern Illinois in the homecoming game. That's all we have for you. Thank you for joining us, and that's all for our coverage. Good night, Muncie.